Here we go! Hi everyone, and welcome to another session of Dreamtime with Danielle. And that's me. I have quite a dream for us today. The book! So, this dream, this dream, it starts off in a choose-your-own-adventure video game type of setting, right? And I see Spongebob, and he has to go through doors to escape some kind of a weasel. Cool. You with me so far? Great. Okay, so it's a video game, and one door leads to another video game where you have to hop on a pogo skip to escape the cops. Yeah. If you do not use the pogo stick, then you move slower. But if you do use the pogo stick, then you're like boing, 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 right out of town. Then it takes over where I'm falling through the sky with Captain Jack Sparrow. This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. Except he does not look like Captain Jack Sparrow. No. He's got a character redesign, and he looks like the guy from Breaking Bad. What's his name? Walt? He looks like Walt from Breaking Bad once he's bald. With a button-up shirt that fills with air as we fall. So there's a third entity there. Don't know who they are, but I'm talking to them as I tell them I don't like Jack's new character design. He's not even wearing the correct costumes for the century he's supposed to be in. And then we land. But he is Captain Jack Sparrow, so of course people are after us. So guess what? There's another chase sequence. What am I running from? Responsibilities? No. Yes? No. Maybe? So we land, and everyone else is in 1700s garb, and they're chasing us, and Jack now has 2 garnet swords. Let me clarify. They're blades, but they're also crystals. They're not actually metal. Super cool. Moving on. I plunge my hands into the earth and I pull up 2 amethyst blades. Awesome. Now we're running over rocks. We're in a forest. I'm leaping. I'm behind. There's like a whole team of people and I'm pulling up the rear here. The rear here. Okay, but we're not just running. We happen to be on a mission to reclaim the powers of Lakshmi. So I am running over rocks and I have to leap over a dirt wall so that I can get over or out of this little valley that I'm in, and on the other side is a river. So the river's going downstream, and suddenly I hear a voiceover talking about what happened to me once my mother was gone. Not creepy at all. Everyone leaps over this river. I try to leap over it, but I fall in, and I can feel the coolness of the water, and I have to swim against the current to get across. I'm swimming at an angle, I get across, I land on this big flat rock, and then I keep going, and now we have to climb up a waterfall. So, oh wait, shoot, I forgot. Let me go back. When I am climbing the dirt wall to get out of the valley, I'm using my amethyst shards and stabbing them into the earth and pulling myself up and stabbing them into the earth and pulling myself up. Dream Danielle is Diesel. So when I get to the waterfall, I do the same thing. I'm stabbing the shards into the waterfall and I'm pulling myself up. And this is how I climb. I climb up the waterfall and then we pass a prince or a prince figure, and he's also climbing the waterfall, and there's another woman here with me, and she's part of our party, and she's it's like her quest to claim the powers of Lakshmi, and we are being pursued. So now she's just like, oh, what should we do? And I'm like, stand our ground and fight. And she's like, yeah. And so she turns around and she goes to fight them, and I keep climbing the waterfall, and I get all the way to the top, and inside or above is like a fountain, and I stake my claim and I stab the amethyst blade into the earth, and all the water drains, and I put my arms up and I claim the powers of Lakshmi. Then, because we're not done yet. Oh yeah, the only reason I made that decision was because I had a dream memory of a blonde woman telling me to do it, because I am still in a choose-your-own-adventure, and I'm like, yeah, this would be awesome. So the next thing I become aware of is I'm painting yellow lines into the ground, and then I'm filling it in. So painting a yellow outline, filling it in, and Lakshmi herself the goddess, is talking, a voiceover. I never see her. She's never in my eyesight, but I know it's her. So I don't remember her exact words, but the voice of Lakshmi says, I will check in with you at another moon. And I am filled with shame because I realize I've taken the life path of someone else, and that I thought it was a game, and it wasn't. It was real life, and I thought I had all these options and that I would be able to see how each one pans out, and that wasn't the case. This is real, and I cannot go back, and I have to take responsibility, and I've hurt someone, and this isn't me. I think, like, I'm better than this. I wouldn't do that in real life, but this is real life in my dream, and I have this weight on my shoulder. I feel this shame, and I know Lakshmi thinks I'm not good enough. And that's the dream. Let's do this, shall we? I feel like I've drawn horror Spongebob. This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. Is that better or worse? So that's my weasel. Tubby. There we go. This weasel will have to do. I can't stay here all night redrawing this weasel. So here we go. Spongebob, weasels, doors. This part's simple. It's a video game. It's the whole premise that starts me thinking I'm in a game. Obviously, here's my favorite cartoon. Here's a cartoon weasel chasing SpongeBob. SpongeBob is well known for being incredibly childlike, incredibly innocent, very naive. He has to go through doors because he's being chased through a weasel. People tend to use weasels to represent someone who's sneaky, someone you can't trust. Weasels fit in small places because they're little weasels. They're very cute. Have you seen a weasel? They're adorable. They get a bad rap. Weasels aren't bad, but it depends on the culture. Maybe the weasel's someone sneaky. Maybe the weasel is someone who has connections and needs to push SpongeBob to go places. So he opens doors. He runs through doors, and one of the doors ends up being into a video game with a pogo stick. So a pogo stick, a child's toy. Although it takes incredible balance. Have you ever tried using a pogo stick? I gave up. I was not a pogo stick jumper. Also, a pogo stick is a very phallic symbol, so we gotta jump on the pogo stick to escape the cops. That does not sound great. Let's return to SpongeBob. SpongeBob, innocence, joy, also determination. He's ready! This is about being prepared. This is about taking on life with vigor. Vim and vigor. He's waving hello. So the weasel gives chase. Oh, also the element of being chased is rampant throughout this dream. There's something driving me forward, whether I'm SpongeBob or the weasel. And remember, we are everyone in our dreams. So I am SpongeBob. I am this weasel. I am the entire video game. So I think we covered what SpongeBob reveals to me and what the weasel reveals to me as well. Let's move on, shall we? We shall. Oh wait, we have to finish talking about the pogo stick and the cops. Okay. So there's this element of running, being chased, something driving us forward, but also running away from something. The pogo stick, it's only by jumping up and down, which to me is about highs and lows. There is no one way to move forward. But the fastest way to move forward was by bouncing, by boinging, if you will. If I didn't have the pogo stick, I slowed down and the cops almost got me. And what do cops represent? Authority, upholding standards, whether we agree with them or not. They represent order. They represent a system. They also represent punishment. Because, let's face it, cops are never chasing someone to give them a lollipop. Cops are never chasing someone down because they just want to make sure they improve their day. Cops are chasing someone down because they want to capture them and hold them hostage for whatever reason. So cops are trying to capture SpongeBob. Some authority, some institution is wanting to capture this whimsical innocence, this joyful, gleeful boingy boy. Now we can move on. The next part. Jack Sparrow. Captain Jack Sparrow. Who is also Walt from Breaking Bad, who's a father figure doing really naughty things. Father figure breaking the law. Now, we just had a chase sequence with some cops, and now we're with a runaway, whether it's Jack or Walt. they're combined into one character. And we're falling through the sky. So falling, having nothing underneath us, no ground to support us. This could represent leaps of faith, yes. This whole week I've been really taking leaps and bounds over changes I've needed to make. I'm sure you'll notice it's much more well lit in here. Jack Sparrow also represents ingenuity. He always finds creative ways to escape. He's an escape artist, and this is all about escaping. So we're falling through the sky, we're escaping certain death, because if you fall from the sky, you're gonna splat, but not in a dream. Walt was doing everything in his power to save his family. Did it get out of hand? Yes. Did I watch the show? No. But I know enough about his character to know the premise, that he wanted to ensure that his family was looked after when he was gone. So this is a masculine presence, this is security, this is also running away from security, because Captain Jack Sparrow runs away from any type of responsibility, is a better word than security. But when we land, we are being pursued, and it's by people in 1700s garb. Remember, Captain Jack Sparrow Pirates of the Caribbean takes place in the 1700s, that's the 18th century, because we like to do numbers weird. And I would say, seeing these costumes out of place, even commenting that Walt, was not in the correct costume, is really about a uniform. This uniform indicates a time period, perhaps a mindset. And when we look at what's going on in society today, in 2020, it's currently July 2020, we appear to have a lot of regressive ideas taking storm. And so, yeah, having a bunch of authority figures from a few hundred years ago chasing us down seems accurate. The cool part, we get blades that are crystals. Let us discuss! Okay. The purple comes out quite dark, but I've got amethyst over here and I've got garnet over here. So Jack had two blades that were raw amethyst. Nope. So Jack had two blades that were raw garnet shards. And garnet is an ancient stone. We have it today. We use it in jewelry. It is also the stone of January, Capricorn. But it's a stone of protection. Ancient warriors used to embed their armor with garnet to protect them through battle. So Jack Sparrow has garnet blades, and I plunge my hands into the dirt and I rip out these amethyst shards, which are the size of blades. Even though I keep saying shards, these things were not small. They were amazing. They were like 2 feet in length, and we each had two, one for each hand. So these are tools. Amethyst is the stone of spirituality. It is a purple stone most often. It comes in a range of shades. It is the birthstone of February and Aquarius. And it is the stone that resonates with your crown chakra. So garnet resonates with your root chakra. This is being physical. This is survival. This is being alive and being flesh and bone and blood. And amethyst is at the end of the spectrum. It's the crown chakra. It's about being a spiritual being. It's about being a spirit in a body as opposed to a body who has a spirit. Amethyst is also a stone that is a stone of intuition, a stone of dreams. And as far as crystal guardians go, amethyst is one of my crystal guardians. I love amethyst, but it's not my favorite stone. However, it is the stone that finds me the most often. And I do mean finds me. I'll find random pieces of amethyst. People gift me pieces of amethyst. I have got some amazing pieces of amethyst, courtesy of beautiful gift givers. Thanks, guys. And it is the stone that likes to work with me the most. Props to amethyst. So it's so significant that in my dream, it is amethyst that I tear up from the earth. And the earth is our mother. The earth is everything that is inside of us. The earth is where we will return when we are done living our lives. Digging something up, that action is, quite literally, digging something out from within myself, pulling my spirituality out, using it as a tool, because then I go on, we run and escape, and I use it, I stab it into the earth. and I pull myself up, and I'm quite literally using Amethyst to get up and to get out of my current situation. Note to self, do an Amethyst meditation. Now Jack has the garnets. Again, garnet is about physical protection. It's a stone of courage and passion and vigor. And it makes a lot of sense that he's going to have these. But remember, we are everyone in our dreams, so that means I am both myself and Jack. And I'm the blades. We've already discussed what the crystals mean. Jack Sparrow's an escape artist, a con artist, a pirate. But what is piracy? What is the romantic symbolism of piracy? Yeah, piracy is theft, but it's also refusing to live by the rules. It is denying social standards to go, like, let your go and let your freak flag fly. And that's what Jack represents. Illegal activity? Sure. Should I get into illegal activity? No. Focus. Not worth it. Too complicated. Next up, the river. Oh, and it's 11:11. It's a river, kid. Bodies of water. Water in general. Come on, I know you know. Water is always emotion. I know. So a river represents rushing emotion. Emotion with a lot of momentum. It's being carried forth with a rush. So moving quickly. Things are moving quickly now, or perhaps I feel like things are out of control with how fast they're moving. When I jump in, because I do jump in, everyone's able to jump over their feelings. Not me. I jump right in and I'm like, oh no, I gotta swim. We're going downstream, so I gotta swim at an angle to get back up. So this is almost about fighting the current, fighting my own emotions, fighting my instinct, or fighting how quickly things are going down. We all have parts of ourselves that we fight. We all have aspects of ourselves that we go against for whatever reason. So I'm going against the current to escape. Then I'm using spirituality. Every time I use the amethyst shards, I'm going to say that's using spirituality to get out of a situation. Oh, am I using spirituality to escape my physical self? Oh, maybe. All right. And then waterfall. At this point, I already know we're on a quest. We're on a quest to reclaim the powers of Lakshmi. So let's discuss. Who is Lakshmi? Lakshmi is a Hindu goddess. She is the goddess of wealth, prosperity, abundance, and purity, and success. I mean, she's a primo goddess. And now at this point, when we've reached this waterfall, the knowledge is in my head. Like, we're doing all of this for Lakshmi's power. So we're essentially doing this for wealth, success, abundance. She is material wealth. She is the physical abundance of the world. She can also represent good luck, which I think is interesting, because once we get to the waterfall, which is another body of water, this one is a cascading body of water. And again, fighting the current. I'm climbing up. So this to me feels like overcoming a wealth of emotion, a lot of emotions that probably were difficult in the past, or I got washed under in the past, overcoming. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like this waterfall represents painful emotions. This waterfall is beautiful. It is glorious. It's huge as well. But we are climbing up it, which is totally going against the currents. And honestly, I mean, you know how water interacts. It's splashing in our faces. You can't breathe if it gets in your nose. You cannot hear. There's a roaring sound. So there's huge elements, but we're still being pursued. So it's worth overcoming this emotion. Now, we meet a prince along the way. How do we know he's a prince? Dream knowledge. And he's there just so briefly, but he's also climbing up. So he's part of this quest. And this is when I see this other woman. And honestly, she looks more like she belongs on this quest because she is also Indian. Hey y'all, I'm back. Briefly interrupting this segment with a clearly later dated why am I looking at a wrist that doesn't have a watch on it segment. So this weekend, my video wouldn't post. Actually, I couldn't even finish editing it because my computer was giving me rainbow wheel forever. But that's fine, because I came into more information, which I thought was incredible and fabulous, and I had to share it with you, especially considering the content of this dream. Lakshmi. So as I said, Lakshmi is the Hindu goddess of prosperity and wealth and abundance. And as I also mentioned, I'm climbing this waterfall in my dream. But what I've recently learned, and thus failed to mention, is that the waterfall is a symbol of Lakshmi. Okay, this completely alters my perception of the dream. Considering that the waterfall is a symbol of Lakshmi, and considering my determination to climb that waterfall, it really makes me take information in a new account. So the waterfall is actually a symbol of raining down abundance. It's cascading water, cascading emotion. And I think the fact that I was climbing it is a sign of overcoming emotions, overcoming what I felt, or even maybe fighting what's naturally washing over me, fighting something that is encouraging me to go in the other direction, even resistance to the wealth and abundance that is being offered. Which sounds counterintuitive, but we all have outdated ideas and outdated belief systems that still exist within us and still affect us, especially on the subconscious level. So, the waterfall, a symbol of Lakshmi. And then later, when I get to the part of my dream where I hear her voice and she tells me she will check on me in another moon, I feel ashamed. The goddess herself is not shaming me. That is not part of Lakshmi. So she can be a fickle goddess, as in she'll come and she'll go, because she symbolizes wealth and prosperity. And as we know, as humans, that's not one consistent thing forever and always for everyone, is it? It's a bit of fortune. But that's not the same thing as intentionally going out of the way to shame a person. That's a very human trait, isn't it? That's like my own inner insecurities and my doubts, my fears, my beliefs. All she said was, I will check in with you on another moon. I'm the one who decides, I'm not good enough. Lakshmi doesn't think I'm worthy. I already accepted her powers. I made it to the top of the waterfall. The water drained away, which to me is like the resistance draining away, because now I was in that fountain. My arms were up. I was accepting. Anyway, fascinating stuff. Clearly must dedicate more time and gratitude to Lakshmi. Thank you for this visitation. And thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to pass it back over to past Danielle, who's going to just wrap things up for us. Thanks, guys. Dreamtime with Danielle. Yeah. She represents the culture and the society who's more likely to understand and to know Lakshmi, inherit her as their goddess, as opposed to being in America, where we claim everything. We're like, I like you, I like you, I like you. On the one hand, cultural appropriation. On the other hand, having access to all this knowledge that we never did in the past before. Dream knowledge is saying, aha, she's also here to claim the powers of Lakshmi. But she questions the path. She goes, what should we do? And when she questions her path, here I go saying, well, we should stand our ground. Even though we're not in the ground, are we? No, we're climbing a waterfall. Is that a possible thing? In my dream it is. I guess it depends on the waterfall. So she's gung-ho for it. She turns. She turns her back on her mission, turns to fight these people, and I do not. I don't turn. I keep going. I'm filled with determination, and I climb over. I leave the prince behind too. I'm like, see ya. And I climb over, and then we enter the top of the waterfall, but it had a pit. That's why I'm saying it's like a fountain. And with my amethyst shard, I stab it into the ground like Excalibur, but in reverse. I'm not pulling it out anymore. Oh, I kind of did before. I'm staking it into the ground. I'm staking my claim, and the water drains away. So water draining away. If water is emotion, what could this mean? Perhaps by standing my ground in a different way and staking my claim, all of this overwhelming emotion has drained away. It's no longer there. It has no power over me. And then the next thing I do is I raise my arms. Now this is a known way. This is a power pose. You can do these before interviews. Yes, self-confidence. But also my hands were open to receive the powers of Lakshmi, to receive wealth and prosperity, material wealth, abundance. And then the very next scene, all of this goes away. Let's see if my yellow will yellow. I'm painting yellow lines. Painting yellow lines in the dirt. All right, so that to me, caution. Think of yellow tape, the caution tape. Also think about lines on the street. That's honestly what it reminds me of more than caution tape. Painting lines on the street, this is to know where's the line. Boundaries, right? Boundaries as well as the color yellow itself, which actually is the color of Lakshmi. Lakshmi is associated with gold. This is her mineral. Yes, a metal is also a mineral. Gold is wealth. Gold is incorruptible. Gold resonates with your power chakra, which is, as far as the body goes, at the point where your stomach is, because that is where we take in the power of the universe through what we eat. Our stomach breaks it down into energy and gives us energy, gives us power. Our power chakra deals with wisdom, willpower, determination, and using our power, well, maybe not for good, but using it, being in control of it, not feeling powerless, essentially knowing we have strength. Gold is also the symbol of wealth and success. So painting these yellow lines, these gold lines, I now hear the voice of Lakshmi. Guys, when I woke up from this, I was just like, I gotta write this down right now. Because when I hear the voice of Lakshmi, I'm filled with shame. This doesn't sound like the benevolent goddess Lakshmi is. But remember, we are everyone in our dreams. So actually, I am the voice of Lakshmi. And I'm shaming myself for taking someone else's life path. And that's when I realized the prince on the waterfall must have been the counterpart to the other woman who was supposed to claim the powers. And I feel guilt for a relationship that didn't work out. And I feel guilt for taking power that doesn't belong to me. Why am I quoting and unquoting this? Because to me, the voice of Lakshmi in my dream is my own voice of guilt. It's my own voice of, well, who do you think you are? Why do you think you can do that? Other people have less. Why should you get more? We all have self-doubts, and this is a huge self-doubt of wanting to grow, wanting to change, wanting to accrue wealth, and to be able to support myself, which are not bad or wrong things, but I've had drilled into my head that it is. And so the voice of the supreme nurturing goddess of success and wealth and abundance and prosperity is shaming me. But it's not really Lakshmi. It's me having a realization. It's me having a realization that my actions have consequences. Because then my next thought here is that I thought I had all the options. I thought I was in a video game. That's how it started. I thought I can just pick and choose whatever I wanted to do. I mean, there was a point in my dream where I had a memory of a blonde woman telling me to take the power. Who was this blonde woman? I don't know. But I do know that whether she told me to do something or not, I made the decision. The choice was mine. And so it was me recognizing my choices have consequences and that I hurt people. Even if it wasn't my intention, I wasn't thinking about them, and the not thinking about them caused pain. And even if it didn't cause pain to my dream characters, because I didn't see them again, it caused pain to me, because I was ashamed of my actions. My next thought is, well, this isn't who I am, but it was what I did. It was what I did when I thought I was just playing. So this, to me, is really about recognizing, yeah, we've got options, but whatever we choose is ultimately what defines us. We get to change our choices as we go along, but we cannot change the past. We cannot change what we've already done. And then Lakshmi said she would check in with me at another moon. So what does the moon represent? Cycles. Have I learned my lesson? Because I felt not good enough. I was like, oh, I'm not good enough for Lakshmi. I'm not good enough for these powers. But I'm the only one telling myself that. I'm the only one telling myself that I'm not good enough, that I don't deserve to take ownership of my own powers. to stake my claim, to use my intuition. Very powerful dream. The goddess has spoken, one way or another. I've never dreamt of a god or a goddess directly communicating with me before, and that was amazing. Note to self, work with Lakshmi more. Thank you, Lakshmi, for coming to me in a dream. And thank you, self, for understanding deeper than the surface. And thank you guys for sticking around for this one, because I know it was a long one, but wow. Just wow. I mean, guys, come on. What would you do if this was your dream? Have you ever dreamt of gods or goddesses communicating with you? If so, who? That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you will consider sending me your dreams, and we'll break it down, draw it out. It'll be a lot of fun. Until next time, guys, this has been Dreamtime with Danielle. Yeah!